So, Steve, it's dreaded word consistency again, because great performance against Glebe this weekend, sort of fairly even, flattish, nothing really clicking first half, change it around, second half we actually were probably the better team, could have won it in the end.
I think the whole 90 minutes was a very tight very tight game. Two sides, similar aspirations probably at the start of the season, both predominantly cancelling each other out at both ends. They've probably taken the one clear chance of the whole 90 minutes, and we probably a bit of a catalyst for that with a couple of mistakes, which is frustrating, but you know, it's very hard to expect a faultless display for 90 minutes at either end at this level. I think on half chances we probably edged it, 3/4 chances probably, but yeah, if you can't put the ball in the net, the best you can ever hope for is a 0-0, and that's a dangerous game to play at this level. Yeah,
because it's strange. Like, how do you get such a good performance and then you come out midweek and then come out and the first half was, you can't fault the effort. The effort was there. It was just nothing was clicking. It was just a bit almost flat sort of thing. How does that happen?
I think firstly, the day that we do have to question the effort, particularly for a whole game or a couple of games in a row, is the day I've probably got to get my coat. And I certainly don't think the boys ever stop trying to do the right things. But yeah, you have just got a little bit of inconsistency at this level. I think people that are able to consistently perform week in, week out, game in, game, are generally the players that kind of go up through the levels. You know, we did make too many unforced errors on the ball in the first half, and that probably stopped us getting the kind of momentum that we needed to build. Probably only a couple of times, maybe 3 or 4 times, we actually managed to get the passing patterns going that we've worked on, and that probably culminated in at least a few balls into the box. I don't think even then there was really any cutting edge to it though.
Yeah, because I mean, is that those errors? Is that what forces it where we go a bit long when we know if we keep it down and pick those crosses instead? It seems like, not that we run out of ideas, but because maybe it is because we're forcing the error, we just hit it long when we don't need to.
Oh, in the heat of the moment, people's decision making is really down to them, and we try and give them ideas on the training pitch. We talk to them pre-match about how we want to play, but you know, ultimately you have to give people a little bit of freedom to go out and play what they see. I don't think we were playing long because we were under an unnecessary amount of pressure, so it did just come down to people playing what they see. Maybe the pitch being a little bit heavier, maybe the fact we're defending the slope first, you know, you do kind of feel a bit more pinned in sometimes in that scenario. But I thought most of the time, rather than, you know, use the term hoof, I thought it was mainly people trying to switch it over their fullbacks to get our wingers in, and it just wasn't quite good enough. Whereas for me, a hoof is someone just literally lashing their leg in it. I didn't see too much of that.
Yeah, I think it's like saying, you can see where they put all that money for their right back, because he was just absorbing all those balls coming over him, because we couldn't quite hit them long enough for Alfred to then get past him, for instance, or on the other side for Regan to do the same thing.
I think, the right back, Chris Evans, good player. Quite probably man of the match for me. Kept Alpha very quiet, although the service we gave Alpha, or the lack of it, was contribution to that. Hence why we made the change in the second half. I think Regan had a little bit more joy. I think Ash particularly was able to put him into some dangerous areas 2 or 3 occasions. I think the left back actually had to go off injured, I think. So, yeah, we had a bit more joy down that side. Yeah,
because I think the other thing is, it wasn't quite as against Glebe. We had a really clear and obvious in-your-face strategy where we strangled them, where we absorbed and just let them have the ball and then took it off them when they came into midfield. We seemed to be doing that, but we just weren't as effective. Maybe is that it? It wasn't as obvious. We couldn't strangle them the first half, I think, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, I would say we didn't do anything dramatically different in terms of what we were attempting to do. Whether our success at it was different is another question. I think because Punjab set up as a 4-4-2, they obviously have got the extra man up front rather than me in midfield. So I don't think they were trying to play through midfield as much as, say, Glebe do. So you can't strangle someone who's not there. You know, they're going a little bit more direct. They wanted it wide. They wanted it in the box. They wanted to use their two strikers as much as they could. So to a point, it bypasses the midfield. So you can't really jump on them with the ball.
Yeah, but and then again, they did that. I'm going to contradict them because even in the first half, actually the whole game, other than the goal, they weren't very effective at that, playing it longer and into their forwards and that, were they? I mean, they spent a lot of money in certain positions, including up front. And like I said, have we ever been forced to make Nathan make a save other than the goal?
I think other than the goal, there was at least one in the first half where the ball's come in the box and the striker hasn't quite got hold of it. I think he flashed one wide where he'd probably be disappointed he didn't hit the target. Other than that, I think they've been limited to a couple of speculative efforts from outside the area. So a relatively comfortable day for us, but they'll say, who cares? We won 1-0. Yeah. And they're quite right to say that. They certainly didn't pummel us. They certainly didn't have us under the cosh for large periods of the game. It was a very close game that we haven't. Again, they've got one of the best defensive records in the league, and they've kept another clean sheet. So from their point of view, job done.
Yeah, well, when I was looking at it, I thought first half we probably let them look a bit better than they were without actually achieving anything. The second half we did make changes, and the second half probably they went backwards and we upped our game and we probably edged that second half. I thought we were a better team.
Well, yeah, I think we were definitely the ones trying to force the issue in the second half, but quite clearly we're the ones that had to do that. Look, in the two seasons that I've been with the club, it's quite clear that whoever's defending that slope tends to have a harder time of it. So you can't ignore that factor to the game. We've been in a lot worse situations at half time than that one when we've defended the slope first. Stansfield at home earlier in the season springs to mind. So it does seem to be a pattern that whoever's going down the hill has a little bit more success or a little bit more momentum or a little bit more territory. That's just the way it is. What we weren't able to do is make it count. So there you go.
But I think also you are playing with quite a problem to replace, and that you've taken the heart of the team out. You don't have Luke, you don't have Jack, and then you don't have Billy as well. I mean, they're probably the heart of the team. Without that, and that's no disrespect to Harry and Rory, who came in and did a good job, and Ash, who was a new player about him. But you take that out, it's going to affect the team. Yeah,
it is going to affect the team, but the boys that come in, they've been around the squad all season, with the exception of Ash. Just take the opportunity. Obviously, that was Ash's debut. He's come in just to give us that little bit of experience, that little bit of quality. I think he's someone who's comfortable to have the ball anywhere on the pitch. And actually, I think he was involved in a lot of our better play. Roars and Harry, they worked hard. Again, they're up against some good players in that midfield for Punjab. And predominantly they managed to contain. What we probably just weren't able to do, perhaps just didn't move the ball quick enough, perhaps just didn't get it out wide to feet or in behind. But we did on quite a few occasions. Again, I was watching the video back and I saw Harry in second half and Roars, a couple of times they've just been able to find that space for Regan to run onto. So it wasn't like it was terrible, but yeah, as a squad, you want to have your best 16 available. Whoever the 11 on the pitch are, it affects who comes on. It affects the dressing room. It affects the whole environment. You're talking about experienced players not being there.
It just felt like we were one of those days where we were never going to score, because we did have chances, especially in the second half. Especially, we
didn't have a sitter, did we?
No.
Which they, I think if their guy misses their chance, his head's going to be in his hands and he's going to be on the floor. Whereas ours were all could have, would have. Not really should have, and that's probably the difference.
Yeah, because talking about that goal again, it's like almost we're architects of our own downfall again. It wasn't, and again, it's another one I'm sitting thinking, Well, it wasn't a worldie, was it? You know.
No, there's probably in the lead up to that goal. There's probably, I mean, I haven't had a debrief with the boys, so I don't know exactly what was going through their heads. So I'm surmising what I think, but I would say there's 2 or 3 decision making stroke positional errors, which I'm sure if we talked it through with them in a colder day, they'd probably go, yeah, wouldn't do that again.
Yeah, well, I suppose you've got the video, see, this is a one game, you can look at it and say, well, this is what it won. Because if you haven't got that, how do you tell people what to do when we can't show them?
Well, this is
so
it.
Hopefully with video now coming in, you're going to be alright.
And again, it's a good tool to be able to have these conversations with the players, because otherwise it all just comes down to how I remembered it, how you remembered it, how he remembered it, and we'll all see things slightly different in their memories. Yeah.
Because I mean, you did seem to change it in that second half, and like when you substitutions and that seemed to have an impact. But what did you change again? Because that seemed to make a big difference.
Okay, we as you've already highlighted there, right back. Thought he was very solid. Thought he had a good game. Didn't think we were able to have too much success getting in and behind him. We knew we had to start to up the ante a little bit because time was running out. So we decided withdraw Alpha and JP, which was basically our left hand side. Give Festos a run because Festos can 100% be a game changer, a match winner for us, and get Mo Alaka on as a kind of left back, but really with a licence to get on. See if we could double up and try and make their right back this afternoon a little bit more uncomfortable.
It did work, you know, changing that. And then the other day, you could see us actually scoring from what they were doing. It was just like it's not going to go in no matter what we do. Even if they'd left the goal completely open and said have a free kick straight in, you can guarantee it was one of those we'd miss.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess there were. I mean, Harry's header is on target. Keepers had to save it. There's another header. I'm not entirely sure. It might have been Jim, but it could have been Ash, who's forced a diving save to his right. There's a shot from Ash, which a guy's outstretched back leg rather than his front leg has caught, which I'm pretty confident's on target. So yeah, there's a few. I think if the goal was completely open, we'd probably have had a few. But yeah, in terms of having to make, yeah, probably that diving save to the right is the only time he's really had to make a good save, and even then, it's not a worldie, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so. I suppose the bottom line is it's one of those games where we haven't played poorly, we just haven't managed to make it play really well and effective.
It's fine margins.
Yeah.
Fine margins. Games like that are settled by either a mistake or a moment of genius. We haven't been able to conjure up a moment of genius, and unfortunately we've made a mistake.
Yeah, one of those chances goes in, it's a different game altogether.
Whole momentum of the game changes, but that's football. You know, they're a good side. They don't give you anything for free. Just come off the back of drawing at Erith and beating Lyd. You know, they're 4 points off the playoffs. We're going toe to toe with them, and there ain't much to choose. If it's a boxing match and a points decision, who knows how it gets called? Probably split decision, but it's not a boxing match. They've took the 3 points. We've got nothing. Lick our wounds, get back on the horse. Snodland in the cup on Wednesday. Holmesdale Saturday has been obviously called off because of their VARs involvement. Good luck to them with that. Waiting to see whether we get given another fixture or whether we get a week off, which might mean we can get an extra training session in, which would be lovely. And then, hopefully we'll have a few bodies back by that point and we can go again. Yeah,
because I mean, it's just what you want almost. Snodling coming up as another tough task, but actually it gives the boys a chance to put it right after the weekend.
It's a tricky one. Then playing on a Wednesday, it kind of denies you the opportunity really to train on a Tuesday or a Thursday, so it'll probably be our only involvement this week. So yeah, let's give it everything we've got. I'm not really expecting any bodies that were unavailable to be back, so it'll be another chance for the same group to go and give it their best for us.
Well, that's it. Look forward to Wednesday.
Yeah, onwards and upwards. Cheers.